Boom! This is the first ever Toad Talk. We are here, Colleen Quigley, Steeple Squigs. It's a crazy time right now, and quarantine and all. I'm at my parents' house. I know you're not where you normally are, so we'll start things off with where the heck are you? Where in the world is Colleen Quigley?
Where in the world is Colleen Quigley? I am in Park City, Utah, which is actually where I normally am in like May, June, July. Usually we're getting ready for the U.S. Outdoor National Championships, or in an Olympic year, we are getting ready for the U.S. Olympic trials, which obviously neither of those are happening right now, but we actually decided to come out here as a team anyway, just to try and get 5 weeks of altitude training in, still get some like that same stimulus, stress on the body, try and keep things as normal as possible during crazy times. And then we'll come down from this, I think on Sunday. Maybe by the time this gets posted, we'll actually know what the heck we're doing.
Right.
But we're going to do like some time trials and stuff with our team. Luckily the Bowman Track Club is so big that even if we can't race other people, we can just race each other and like make a good race out of it. So I think that's what we're going to do.
Awesome. Well, that was kind of like the next two questions I had down. Basically, it's such a crazy time that like, how does this affect the training as like, does your coach keep saying, oh, next week, next month, when are we racing? Next week. So how has this affected training? And I guess,
So right now the current challenge is, so there's a lot of like rules that the USATF has for like returning to competition. And so we're trying to find a track that we can use. And then we have to get COVID tested 2 times 1 week before the race. And then we have to, there's certain things about if we use like this random high school track, they don't have a rail. Okay, we have to get a rail. Or can we use cones? Is that allowed? And then you're like, okay, but what if we travel to get there? Like, then do we have to stay there for 2 weeks and get COVID test? Like, there's just so many. It's hard. Like, no one's ever done this before, so we're trying to figure out the logistics of it still. But in the meantime, just like working really hard and training and trying to build fitness so that if and when the opportunity arises, we'll be ready. And we don't, the marks that we may or may not run don't count for, they don't count for Olympic standards. They don't count for, Olympic trial standards, but they could count for records. They can count for, if it's a legitimate race and you follow all the rules, it could count for a PR, if you PR, and it could count for an American record or a world record if you break one of those. So there are still, there's still like stuff on the line that could make it exciting. We just have to like get it sanctioned first, or else it's just like Coach Schumacher on a stopwatch at the Nike track, and like it doesn't really mean it. It's like a practice PR. It doesn't really mean anything, which is it's kind of hard to get hyped up for that.
It stinks, but it's also you're in good shape if you're running fast. Even if it's not official, but
you want something to like prove it that you're been working hard. So, but we're all just doing the best that we can, and I think mostly just grateful that in my sport, all we really need is like a pair of shoes, or like maybe like 5 pairs of shoes, and a track or road, or like you just to be able to train, you don't need that much. So I feel lucky in that way.
The one good thing. Football. My brother's a soccer coach in Ohio, and they're only allowed to have like 9 people and a coach there. Compact. So what are they doing? They're running. They're literally just, all right, now it's time to do
conditioning.
Fitness. There's no contact. So,
that is crazy. Or think about swimmers, just so many barriers to getting back into your sport. And it could be a while that we're doing this too. So even if we end up having to be like, they're talking about doing some races with like, okay, there's 8 people in the race plus a rabbit and 1 official on the field, but like 10 people on the field at one time maximum. And no fans obviously or whatever. So people are, they're trying to figure it out.
Well, that's what I was going to.
We want to bring track back.
Yeah. The next question was, I know, you're a big person and image in the sport, but are you paying attention to all the stuff where people are like, oh, this meet's going, no, it's canceled. Oh, this, no, it's canceled. Oh, this is, or you kind of just like, you get to the point where you're just like, I'm just going to run. My coach or whoever will tell me when it is, when we're opening up. Like, do you have a race on your schedule besides the time trial downtown, or have you stopped trying to schedule them because of all the cancellations, basically?
Yeah, we have no races on the schedule officially. And there's, all this kind of word about Diamond League races going to be happening September, October, like November. I think our kind of mindset right now is that we want to try and do a few races. If they end up being time trials, like so be it, throughout July, and then maybe like even beginning part of August. But then, at middle of August or whatever, when we usually would be wrapping up the season, we're going to wrap up the season again and take our rest time and then have fall training and just have it be a kind of a normal periodization into an Olympic year. I think it would be really weird for our bodies to be racing in September, October, November.
Last year?
Yeah. And then I don't know. And then, yeah, well, that last year was weird too, but that was October, I guess, or beginning of October. But have like a normal fall season, training season, and then we'll have a little short indoor season like we did this year, and then get ready for the trials again. So
that's smart. I think people are trying to hold on to I'm fit right now. Let me race. Let me hold the fitness. Let me race. And your goal is not to PR this year. It's to go to the Olympics or qualify or trials, Olympics. So I actually heard that Dave Milner, Nashville, Tennessee.
We have company.
Oh, hi. Is that Pie?
Oh, never mind. She doesn't want to hang out. Do you want to hang out? Hi, Pie.
Uh-oh.
She just jumped up on the bed.
Bob Dog's outside. We have to be friends.
Anyway, what were you asking me?
All I was saying is Dave Milner, I think, supposedly set that Music City Distance Carnival up for August 15th.
August 15th, yeah.
It's, you can qualify for the trials, is what he said. He got it USA talking to him. So I don't know. Again, is that something we're going to get hyped up about? And then something gets so I don't want to.
I know. August 15th still seems like a long ways off. So I think we're trying to, be a little bit more like, okay, how about the next 2 weeks? And then the next 2 weeks.
What you can control,
Yeah, but it's tricky and it's hard to train. I know a lot of people feel that way. Like it's hard to train when you don't know what you're training for. Like we're training and we're working hard, but what are we going to get out of this? And that lack of motivation to dig a little deeper and really dedicate yourself to eating well and doing all the little things, sleeping and, taking care of yourself. It's easy when you have the Olympic trials are in a month, I have to be dialed in, but when it's not, immediate, it can definitely be challenging to motivate yourself and, get super fit. So.
No, it's all the little things that add up. But when, like you said, a vision in mind or a race date or something like that, you sometimes find yourself a little motivated. What's something you've done that's helped you focus, right when you get a little weak on that? What's something that helps you stay focused?
Yeah, I think coming up to altitude was good for us because this Park City is a second home for our team. We come here every summer and we have just a good setup. There's so many good trails to run on. We can run a different place every day if we wanted to. And the gym is actually open here, so we can get gym workouts in, which is great. We weren't able to do that when we were back in Portland. And that is helpful too. Doing gym in your house is definitely doable, but well, hello. she wants some attention. Hi, baby. Doing gym in your house is doable, but it's you can only do that for so long before you're just it's hard to get really motivated. And then there's certain things that you just can't, I couldn't do in my house, back squats or heavy deadlifts. And so I felt like I was really needing that. So coming here, I think was definitely good for us, but also, I don't know, perks. My boyfriend usually lives in LA and he usually has Pie with him in LA. And they've been able to quarantine with me. They were quarantined with me in Portland, and then they came up to Park City. And so instead of staying in the big house there's a big house of athletes down the road from here, all staying together. I get to live with Kevin and Pie in my in my own little in our own place, which is so nice just to have my own space and have our little setup here, our home base. And getting to spend extra time with them and remembering oh my gosh, this is great. I actually really like him and I really like her and we don't usually get to spend that much time together. So And I think a lot of people are actually seeing that, like they go home to to be quarantined with their families, or just spending more time with loved ones. And I think that's kind of a silver lining, that we spend more time with the people who we love, that normally when we go to work, we're away from them all day long. And, or for training camp, we're away from them for 5 or 6 or 10 weeks. So, yeah, I think just that helps me stay motivated too, is that like, this is actually a really special time. And
Yeah.
I need to like enjoy that.
I think in life, it's all about, everyone's looking at negative things, but with every negative thing, there's a positive, they say. And I think like, everyone's like, oh, I'm trapped in my house, yada, yada, this and that. But again,
Yeah.
positive things like, will you ever get to spend this much time with your parents or your boyfriend or your dog or your family or your friends?
Exactly.
Never again, yeah, you can probably get on each other's nerves, and you probably too much is a bad thing. But like, again, step back and always take a deep breath and be like, wow, this is incredible. Is Pie?
I never get too much of you, Pie. I never get tired of you.
She's trying to braid her hair. It looks like she's playing with the tie it yourself.
Oh, I know. She loves my tie. I always have a tie yourself hair tie around my wrist, and she always goes for it. She's like, mine. And I'm like, fine. Like, whatever. It's not worth fighting you.
All right, let's get to the fun stuff, though, okay? Real quick.
Oh, yeah.
We'll get to...
Wait, I thought we were already doing fun stuff.
This is going to get better. No more running questions. I feel like I'm always...
Okay.
So, if you were to be quarantined anywhere in the world, where would it be and why?
Ooh. So normally at this time of, well, not this time of the year, but later in the summer, I guess, like after USA's or the trials or whatever, we usually go as a team to St. Moritz, Switzerland, which is the most magical place on earth. Like, I don't know anywhere that is more just pure and gorgeous. Like, the food tastes better and the air is fresher, and like the water tastes better. The trails there are just like, it's a magical adventure. Every time you go out for a run, you're like run by some lakes and there's some waterfalls, and it's just like, it's a really special place. And last summer the crew went for a couple weeks, and I got injured right before that trip. And so I did end up, it was a whole shit show with injury right before the world champs, which were in Doha. And so my team was going to be in St. Moritz for 2 weeks and then go straight to Doha. It was like a quick, like 4 or 5 hour flight from there. But I ended up getting injured and having to go see John Ball. And so I only got to spend like 2 days in St. Moritz, and I wasn't even running, so I didn't get to go out on the trails. But yeah, so this summer we're not going, obviously. And we weren't going to go because Tokyo, it doesn't make sense to go to St. Moritz before Tokyo. They're not close at all. Yeah. But yeah, if I could pick anywhere, St. Moritz, Switzerland is just like the most magical place in the summer, especially when you're healthy and running. And Kevin and Pie, and plus Pie's a Bernese Mountain Dog from Bern, Switzerland. So I feel like she'd be very at home there. Yeah. She's actually super at home in Park City. She loves it here. But
you got 3 people, who would it be? If you got to pick 3 people.
Oh, with 3 people.
Yeah.
Oh, well, definitely Kevin, my boyfriend. And oh gosh, 3 other people, maybe 2. I guess 2 people that I would run with. And that means I have to pick favorites on my team.
No, I'm not asking that.
Well, I would want to run with people. I think my 2 favorite people to run with on the team, just because we get into some really good conversations about like just like deep stuff. You know how you have people that you like talk about fun stuff with, and then people that you get in some serious conversations with. And that would probably be Kate Grace and Marielle Hall. We both live, we all 3 live in the Northwest in Portland. So sometimes we just run from home together. And yeah, I think that would be fun, like to have my run crew, and then I come home to Pie. Pie doesn't count as a human, so she's extra. She's obviously coming. And me and Kevin. That'd be super fun.
Perfect. What's one thing you discovered about yourself since it all broke out that surprised you the most?
Ooh. Oh, that's hard. That I've discovered about myself. I guess I kind of discovered TikTok in quarantine, and definitely discovered how bad I am at managing my time on social media, including TikTok. when I should be like doing my at-home core and like doing my gym, my prehab, my rehab exercises. I'll be like literally an hour later and I'm still on the floor, like on the foam roller on my phone. I'm like, yeah, I think I really did get a lot out of like team practice when we meet for core, and it's like an hour and I crank it all out. And sometimes I would be like really good and I would do it, but yeah, I am very easily distracted, which I'm sure I'm not the only one, but social media is just such a powerful thing. It really is.
I took a month off and I've never had more time in my life. I was doing like
You took a month off. Oh, good for you. What did you do? What did you do when you weren't on your phone as much?
Climbed trees, went fishing, run. I played basketball. I've been riding a bike every day.
Wow. Is that when you're in Erie or when you're in Nashville?
I started it when I went to Cleveland, from Nashville to Cleveland with my brother. Stayed there for 10 days to 12 days quarantine. And then I went back to my parents because I wanted to make sure we were all good after going in an airplane. But yeah, it started. Wow. And I've been here for like a week. So 2 weeks in Cleveland, 2 weeks here.
So you just spent more time outdoors, basically.
Oh yeah, I don't think I've put a shirt on since I've been home, only for this interview.
That's amazing.
I have a hammock out there, huge yard, and I've just been chilling.
I love hammocks.
Yeah, no,
amazing. That sounds like a pretty good lifestyle.
Yeah, no, I think that's all I need. What's your favorite non-running thing you've done since quarantine? I know you just talked about TikTok, but besides that.
Yeah, spent a lot more time with Pi. Excuse me. She is such a little, hi, yes. Gosh, my favorite thing that I've done. I think one of my favorite things that I don't normally get to do that I've done a lot during quarantine, especially up here, is like morning and evening walks with Pi, where, normally you just don't, like, especially when you're training, you just don't like go for a walk. Like you just wouldn't do, you would just sit on the couch and watch TV instead, which is kind of like what you said, just about being outside all the time. And especially up here on the mountain where there's so many good like views and trails and like just walk, you could go for a different walk, every day. And so I've really enjoyed doing that, especially because Pi wakes up at about 6 to 6:30 in the morning. Yes, sir. And we don't have practice until 9. So I have a lot of time in the morning. But yeah, even just like going for like a 30-minute like easy walk in the woods with her is such a good way to start the day. Like I would never normally do that. But yeah, it's such a great way to just like first thing in the morning, like be in nature. And sometimes I bring my coffee out there with me and I'm just like have my morning coffee on the trail. It's so nice.
No, it's the best way to start the day for sure.
Yeah. I think it actually helps my legs like warm up too. Like it's good to like walk a little bit before you just like go from a sitting position to a running position. It can be a little harsh on the body. So.
Yeah. Penn State's a huge campus, but we used to, some of the walk 30 minutes. And I was like, I'm not taking the bus. I'm going to walk because I want to get a little ready. Especially
totally. Yeah. And then I graduated and I like never rode my bike or walked ever.
All right. What's one chore or project that you've been putting off, but you finally got to? I don't know if that's
a
house, a thing around apartment or anything.
Yeah, we actually finally finished redoing our kitchen. We had done almost everything except for the backsplash. The tile guy was like 2 or 3 months backlogged, and so finally right before I left for altitude he came in and did the backsplash, and it's like white subway tile, and I had gotten so used to not having backsplash that it was just like a gray wall behind, in the kitchen, that I was like, oh, this is just like how the kitchen looks. And then once he did it, I was like, oh no, it was so not finished before. And so now my chef Colleen videos when I get back are going to be amazing in the brand new kitchen. That was kind of a big renovation. But other than that, like we did do some spring cleaning, like just got rid of a bunch of stuff. I got rid of like so much clothes, and I was going to take them to the Goodwill, but then like the Goodwill's closed. So now the clothes are like just sitting in a box in my closet waiting for the Goodwill to open up again.
Oh gosh. Do you have a mask, and is it just like a normal blue one, or do you have like a funky like Spider-Man one?
I do have a mask. Should I show it to you? Sure. So I did an IGTV where I showed people how to make homemade masks.
Sorry, I've been out of the loop.
And yeah, and I used TIY hair ties, the hair tie company that I work with. This one just came out of the laundry, so it's not folded correctly, because you guys, you have to wash your masks, okay? Yeah. PSA, you have to wash them. You can't just keep using the same old dirty mask all the time. But I have this mask, and it's from an old t-shirt, and I have TIY hair ties, so I have to fold it up. I'm not gonna fold it up right now, but you fold it up like you see in my video, and it says Nike on it, and then oops.
We'll link your video in here.
Oh.
All right.
Oh, there you go.
A nice Nike one. Nice.
How do I look?
Very good. Very good. Killing it.
Yep.
If you could pick any one though, if it wasn't Nike, like if it would be like your favorite show or favorite book, or like,
ooh,
if you could pick any mask and boom, it popped out of thin air and you got it.
I would like to have a mermaid mask if I could, like with some like nice waves, maybe some sequins on it, with like a mermaid tail. That'd be pretty up my alley.
Perfect.
I know what would be on your mask. I don't even have to ask.
This might be it right here, a tie-dye code.
You make that t-shirt into a mask.
That's right. That's right. I'll watch the video. So let's see what we got. Last two questions is, what do you feel the most grateful for during this time? Because everyone's negative right now. I feel like there's a lot of negative.
Yeah.
Like, when can I go out? When can I do this? When is this? When is that? What's the biggest positive, or what are you most grateful for during this negative time?
Yeah, I think most grateful for my health. I've been injured so much, and I was thinking about if I wasn't running right now, and if I had to be in the pool and all the pools were closed, I think I would have like gone crazy. And so, yeah, I think just knowing what that injury life is like, because I've lived it so much, makes you extra grateful to just, all I need is a pair of shoes, and I just walk out the front door and like go for my run. And that's so simple, but so amazing.
You don't know what it's like until you've been there. So trust me, I've been hurt as much as you maybe. And yeah, no, just being healthy.
Yeah.
That's a great answer. Great answer. What's last one is, what's a story from like a book, a movie, an article, or a conversation that you had that has really like gripped you or grabbed you recently? Why did it capture you? Like, is there a message or something, maybe one of these long talks you had with Kate Grace or something that made you like really,
wow. Well, I mean, I'd be remiss to say that everything that I've been reading and talking to people about, and like those deep conversations right now, has just been about race and racial inequality, and definitely trying to read things that, challenge me, or just they're not necessarily like super light and fun reads. These are like really hard to read, like, material, but they spark really good conversations, and it's conversations that honestly, like, we don't talk about on runs, with the Barman Track Club, or with the Barman Babes. Like I talked to Marielle a few weeks ago about how she's feeling and like what she's specifically going through. She's the only Black girl on the Babe side, and so I was just like, how are you feeling? How is everything going? And it felt like why haven't we ever talked about this stuff with you, or just in general on the team before? Why is that a subject that we just kind of, skirt because it's uncomfortable, or we don't know much about it, or whatever? And so that's definitely something I've been giving a lot of my energy outside of running to.
Awesome.
And yeah, trying to have those conversations and dig deeper into like, why is that happening? And oh, that's interesting. Like, I never thought about that before. And yeah, stuff like that. Like Juneteenth is on Friday, on June 19th, 2 days from now. And I didn't know what that was until like a week ago. But now we're going to be celebrating Juneteenth on Friday. Like, I don't know, certain stuff like that, it's scary and it's like horrible, but it's also like, of course this is happening right now. This has to be happening right now. And it feels like the world is ending, but like, this has to happen. These changes, these conversations have to happen right now. And it feels really important. And it feels like beginning of something that could be defining for
Absolutely.
everyone who has lived through this time.
That's one of my
So I want to
favorite
be part of that.
one of my favorite things I say is, people are like, "Oh, that stinks," or that, or that, and I'm like, "Yeah, but you grow the most when you're uncomfortable." So it's an
Yeah.
uncomfortable time for us to talk about some of those things, and also for others to talk about those things. But for us to like completely understand and have someone that you can talk to about race and about all the stuff that's going on, and have them just know that you're not being rude, you're just helping understand and really
Right.
feel how see how they feel, or try to talk about how they feel, or what makes them upset or not. That's what I've learned the most from my coworkers, because in New York there's all people from all over, all kind of
Yeah.
backgrounds, and it's like really cool that I say, "Hey, I just am asking," and they're like, "Yeah, let's talk about it," and they're excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited, and it's really good. So I think I'm uncomfortable talking about it, and they are too. But I think that's my quote. It's like, you grow the most when you're uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So let's have those conversations so
I
that we
love
can all
that.
grow and spread what our knowledge and our understanding to our other friends. So
Yeah. And I love it. I mean, my hope is that we can have conversations where someone admits, like, I don't know much about that, or I always thought about it like this. And they can just have an open mind to say, oh, you always thought about it like that. Like, okay, let me for a second, you know, put myself in your shoes and
yeah,
think about it from that perspective. And then you're like, okay, yeah, like I could see that. And we can actually have a discussion about it without it seems really hard sometimes to talk about differences, and people get so like ingrained in what they believe and what they think, and it's hard sometimes not to take it personally what someone else is saying and what they believe and what they think, and just listen. And then you, even if you leave the conversation still disagreeing, you at least heard one another, you let that person express themselves, and maybe they're not ready to change yet, maybe they're not ready to think something else yet, but maybe in a couple days they'll still be thinking about that conversation.
planted the
And
seed.
yeah, and then they'll have another conversation. And I don't know, I think that we just need to be better about talking without like arguing
Yeah,
necessarily, or arguing without getting mad or getting making it personal, and just be more open to, yeah, being uncomfortable, and
yeah. Even a small
being
step
okay with
forward
that.
is a step forward, right? Even a
Yeah.
small step forward is a step forward, and I think we just all need to listen more, because everyone
Yes.
wants to tell you what they're thinking before they even
And listen to people who don't agree with you too. Like that can be a hard one.
really.
Listen to people who don't have the same values as you. Because if you scroll through your Instagram feed, you'll probably just see a bunch of people who are um, reinforcing what you already think. And that doesn't help you grow or change or, think about things differently.
Cool. That's
Yeah.
awesome. I love that. I love that answer. I think that's all. I mean, I had a bunch of on here, but that was pretty much all it didn't take too much time, and I'm
You're
surprised.
not going to play guitar for me or anything? I see this guitar in the
I'm
background.
supposed to
Really
be a fiddler.
wondering.
I'm the worst guitarist in the world.
I thought you might be serenading me as a part of
No,
this,
no,
but
no,
maybe it
no,
was
no.
just a
Next time.
prop.
I'm good. I learned Riptide, Vance Joy. That's what
Oh, nice. I love
I
that
was trying
song.
to play, and then I was trying to play Wake Me Up When September Ends, because I was predicting. I was gonna predict.
Uh,
Not. I don't know
I
if it's
hope.
a good thing to ask, but if you had to, this is magic and there's no science behind it because no one knows anything. But if you picked a date, what would it be that you think right now everything will be back to somewhat normal, which is like a
Mm, well, this might be an unpopular answer, but I think that our second wave of coronavirus is coming.
yeah.
And yeah, it's going to be bad. And I don't think that we're going to get better until we have a vaccine, which is not going to be for a couple of years. So,
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, we're just taking it a few weeks at a time. Like I said earlier, just like couple weeks at a time, couple weeks at a time. But like, I think we are by no means like on the other side of this, or like coming off the other side.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't think it's anywhere
Like
near
2 weeks
finished.
into the quarantine, we had to predict, we had to take guesses for our work, and I guessed September 15th, but that was March 15th. That was March.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, it was changing so fast,
What was going on? I
and
thought
we
I
were
was
just
going home for a
figuring
week.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought I was going to be gone from work for a week, not 4 months. But I
yeah.
started learning Wake Me Up When September Ends, because I wanted to
Oh
play
my
that
gosh, that's so funny.
when it ended in September.
Then you'd be like, I knew it.
Yeah.
Wait, did you play guitar at all before quarantine?
I played in high school. I took like a guitar class and
Okay.
I started playing a little bit from some of my friends. And then we were in Nashville, so 2 or 3 of the people down there, like one guy, old Miss Long Snapper, Jack Probst, he's like really good and he can like listen to a song and play. So he started playing.
Oh, wow.
I remembered a little bit, and then
That sounds
I'm
amazing.
really bad. I can play like a couple songs, but I will not play.
I should have done that. Kate Grace, my teammate, started picking up keyboard during quarantine. She's been practicing like every day. She's gotten pretty good.
So you picked up TikTok. Kate Grace picked up keyboarding. Colleen, this is the problem.
What is my life?
No,
You're right. It's really bad. But no, I picked up hiking. Like, come on,
it's
don't
amazing.
give me some credit.
No, it's good. It's good. I started doing weird stuff like tie-dyeing, bleaching shirts. I learned how to do like hemp bracelets. Like,
Oh, oh my
people.
God, I used to do those all the time.
I used to do them. I was very
Mm.
artsy, as you can
I
tell.
was obsessed. I love anything arts and crafts. Like I know how to knit, I know how to sew, I know how to crochet.
Catch cradle.
Yeah, anything. Yeah,
I knew all that stuff. Do you remember that?
yeah. Oh yeah, I was
Make a
big into
planner. I could
the
do all those.
string. Yeah, string art or whatever. Yeah, big time. Anyway, I haven't gotten back into that during quarantine. Probably for the best.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, anything else you have to say? I think we're going to wrap it up. I'm surprised they haven't kicked us off of this yet, but
Peace and love. Yeah, I know.
spread love
Yeah,
everywhere you go and just always leave people with a smile, right?
exactly. Keep
Mhm.
working hard. For all of you that I've been doing a lot of Zoom calls with high school and college teams, and I'm just trying to tell all of them that right now we're having a cross country season. So act like it. Get that summer training in, your summer miles, so you don't end up injured or coming into practice out of shape in the fall is like the worst feeling. You have to play catch up
Oh,
in
yeah.
those first workouts and stuff. Getting ready for your first races is horrible. So don't do that to yourself. Get your summer miles in. You will thank yourself come fall.
Amen. Amen. All right. Thank you, Colleen. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Billy. It's great catching up with you.
Say it. Bye.
You're
Yeah, bye.
bye.